Welcome to Design Santa Barbara. I'm Michael Korosh. This week we are in Santa Barbara Design Center and I have a special treat for you. We are going to be exploring the history of tapestries and looking at some amazing examples of this ancient textile art. Tapestries are traditionally woven on a vertical loom and feature weft-faced weaving, in which all the warp threads are hidden in the completed work, unlike cloth, where both the warp and the weft threads may be visible. Most weavers use a natural warp thread such as linen or cotton. The weft threads are usually wool or cotton, but may include silk, gold, silver, or other alternatives. The success of decorative tapestries can be partially explained by their portability. Kings and noblemen could roll up and transport tapestries from one residence to another. In churches, they were displayed on special occasions. Tapestries were also draped on the walls of castles for insulation during winter, as well as for decorative display. They have been described in the past as portable murals. Though some date back to the 3rd century BC in Greece, tapestries hit their stride in medieval Europe. In the 14th and 15th centuries, Arras, France was a thriving textile town. Industry specialized in fine wool tapestries, which were sold to decorate palaces and castles all over Europe. Few of these tapestries survived the French Revolution, as hundreds were burnt to recover the gold thread that was often woven into them. Arras is still used to refer to a rich tapestry no matter where it was woven. William Shakespeare even mentions Arras tapestries in his iconic play Hamlet, Prince of Denmark. By the 16th century, the Flanders region of Belgium has become the center of European tapestry production. In the 17th century, Flemish tapestries were arguably the most important productions, with many specimens of this era still in existence, demonstrating the intricate detail of patterns and colors embodied in painterly compositions, often of monumental scale. In the early 1500s, the Renaissance master Raphael was commissioned by the Pope to paint several large-scale works that would be converted into tapestries for the Sistine Chapel. These tapestries act as an accentuation to Michelangelo's painted ceiling. Now let's look at some tapestries from my personal collection. So we start with one of my favorite tapestries. It is woven around 1620s and is a Flemish tapestry. It is very detailed. It is one of the finest wool, warp, and silk faced. This one has silver and a lot of gold threads woven into it. A scene is of royal females looking at a handsome musician playing the harp. The harp, if you look carefully, is very detailed, has a little face on it, and that is made of gold. And these were made exclusively for the kings and absolutely the royalty back then. The thing that is intriguing to me is the parrot that's from the New World and didn't exist in Europe. I mean, they brought it from South America, and as you can see, is one of the most important features in this piece. One day I was counting the colors in this, has over 50 different shades, and it wasn't back then that you could go to a paint shop and buy the paint and dye the silk and the wool. And each one of these different colors has been selectively dyed by natural dyes. The reds right now, they look a little more muted, but you can imagine this being 400 years ago, very bright and shiny. The borders are of different fruits and they look realistic because they're very finely done. Interesting piece. Again, you can see vaguely in the back, there is a castle there. There is a village in the background up there. It's in the background, but it existed there. So they put it there for you to see. The faces are very realistic. You can see at this lady, just like romantically looking at the gentleman that's played the music. A lot of these were made for royal palaces, and there's still a number of them surviving. This particular piece, a friend of mine found in Mexico City, out of all places. And it was made into a frame on the wall. The corners on this have been redone because they were cut to go into that frame, and they revolved the corners, and probably they did it over 100 years ago. They used some synthetic dyes on the wool and the silk, and you can see the sun faded those, and they're quite visible, although they're the same design, but the sun faded those synthetic dyes, as well as I can see the natural dyes 400 years gone. They still have their own patina, they have their own color, and they don't fade. They got a little bit, they can get sometimes dusty and dirty, but they don't fade. That's the good thing about natural dyes. So it's a fabulous piece, and I'm mesmerized every single time I look at this. I look at it's probably thousands and thousands of hours of work went into weaving this. As you can imagine, they were woven on a vertical loom, and each color must have been masterly woven into this. And painting this is hard, it's absolutely hard, but weaving it, I still don't understand. How can you sit down and weave this beautiful thing? Amazing. Fair market value for such epic piece in this great condition and this beautiful subject matter is approximately $250,000. When we come back, we will be looking at some more fascinating tapestries. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. There is more Design Santa Barbara after the break. This week on Michael's Minute, we are going to talk about rug cleaning and restoration. A fine rug is a family treasure often passed on from generation to generation. Rugs need to be properly taken care of to ensure their survival and protect your investment. At Santa Barbara Design Center, we are the foremost experts in professional cleaning, repairing, and preserving your rugs. Rugs should be hand washed every 3 to 5 years to maintain a structure. When was the last time you washed your rugs? Proper cleaning can extend the longevity of your rug, whereas steam cleaning can damage it. Restorations by Rugs & More include hand stitching, fixing fringes and sides, and reviving worn pile. For the finest restoration and cleaning, bring your rugs into Rugs & More at Santa Barbara Design Center today, 410 Olive Street. Today on Michael's Minute, I'm gonna talk about what makes a good sofa versus a great sofa. This one is called Malibu, and this is called Malibu 2.0. What makes a difference is, for the Malibu, we use industry standard wrap, which is a polyester. For the 2.0, we use a blend of angel hair, which is a synthetic down, and down itself. On top of that, we use 2 different fabrics for them. For the regular Malibu, we use 100% polyester fabric, which is very long lasting and has 30,000 double rub, which is very durable. For the 2.0, we use the highest quality linen in the market. I would like to invite you to come and see these in person. Come see me at Santa Barbara Design Center, 410 Olive. Welcome back to Design Santa Barbara. This week we are learning the fascinating history of tapestries. Please join us as we look at some more beautiful works of art. Tapestry manufacturing at Aubusson in the upper valley of central France may have developed from the looms in isolated family workshops established by Flemings that are noted in documents from the 16th century. Typically, Aubusson tapestries depend on engravings as a design source, or the full-scale images from which the low-warp tapestry weavers worked. As with Flemish and Parisian tapestries of the same time, figures were set against a conventional background of verdure, stylized foliage and vignettes of plants on which birds perch and from which issue glimpses of towers and towns. This beautiful piece is a Aubusson tapestry. Aubusson is a region, central France. It's like about 150 miles south of Paris. They made a lot of these beautiful tapestries that they survived because they value them so much as wall hangings in France. This particular one is a little bit different than the norm we get. Usually they have dark green, dark blue foliages. This particular one has a bluish tint with a little bit of a purple in it. The gold is predominant in here. That's the natural silk. And design is very romantic. You're looking at a little castle, little river running there, the lake with the birds in it. And the crane is a staple of this type of tapestry. However, it's kind of unusual at the same time because you have these mythical creatures that they come from the sea. And you have the romantic birds. Unusual thing again is the signature that this one has. It says Aubusson on it. And it's in great shape. Usually what happened with this tapestry is they lost their borders. And I will show you another sample of what happens with them. So traders used to buy these and they figured out the main object is the tapestry. So they used to cut the tapestry and sell it as a tapestry, and they used to make pillows out of the borders. And oftentimes the borders were more valuable than the tapestry itself because you could make 30 pillows out of the border and they are most amazing. And I had friends that had done this 20, 30 years ago. They used to find the tapestries, buy them, cut the borders off, make pillows out of them and sell the tapestry in the middle as a tapestry. I think that's kind of sacrilegious and should not happen. It's a work of art and you don't want to cut these. Anyway, it's a fabulous piece. I would put a fair market value on this in today's market, approximately $30,000 to $35,000. Now I would like to show you a verdure tapestry and see some similarities and few differences in them. So following that Aubusson tapestry, we are come here to a verdure tapestry. They are slightly different. The theme is generally the same. You see this beautiful foliage, you see these beautiful colors, you have that, again, always a water element. And you know, Europe has a lot of rivers and lakes, but they always put it in there, just make it a little more idyllic and a little more romantic. This one has little castle in the back again, as we had in the Aubusson. They're kind of typical. A little bit different. This one has ships in it, and that makes it be close to an sea, mostly Mediterranean. You have the birds again. There's a beautiful one here, another one down there. Now I was telling you about cutting the borders. A lot of these do come without the borders, and you can see on this one, that side and this side, both missing the borders. They were made into pillows, God knows when. This particular one has sewn some of its borders. I suspect those perhaps were cut and stored before they make pillows out of it, or they were not wide enough to make pillows, so they sewn back to it. I see the top should have gone down, the bottom should go up, but again, we usually get them as with the way they are. They're 300-400 years old, and I don't alter them. I just keep them as a historic piece, and they're just beautiful. I look at these every day and I look at them, wow, how beautiful they are. This particular one, again, is a lot coarser than that Aubusson we saw. The threads are simply thicker. It has the same material. It is the wool, and then you have the silk that is lighter colors. This one has quite a lot of restoration. I can show you some areas, like this area is restored. You can see the lighter colors here. There have been stitchings. These are old materials, and certain pieces, they have not been cared as much as the important pieces. Like I showed you at the beginning, that was a Flemish piece, and that has been restored and been taken care of over the centuries. Although it is older, it's in better shape. This particular one has some repairs and restoration, which is not uncommon, but it knocks off some of the value of the tapestry. Fair market value of this particular tapestry between $10,000 to $15,000. When we come back, we will learn more about this incredible textile art form. Please join us. Today on Michael's Minute, I want to talk to you about transitional rugs. Although still majority of rugs we sell, they are traditional and classical rugs, but nowadays more and more designers and the projects they have requires transitional and modern carpet. On this side, we have a very beautifully handmade rug that has classical designs from Ziegler and Company, Sultanabad. On this side, we have an Uşak design. Uşak is a town in Turkey that originally made classical Turkish designs from 1,000 years to today. They're still making them. This particular one has a classical design, but has all the colors of today's interior. So it's beige with a little bit of eggplant color and gray in it. To see thousands of transitional, modern, and classical rugs, come to Santa Barbara Design Center, 410 Olive.
Welcome to Rugs & More. We provide the West Coast with the most comprehensive collection of new, oriental, and antique rugs. Rugs are solid art investments and often become cherished family treasures. Our limitless inventory will warm up your home. Exotic or traditional, tribal or modern, our rugs weave stories through intricate patterns, compelling colors, and touchable materials. #1 in Santa Barbara for over 20 years. Visit us today at Rugs & More, 410 Olive Street in Santa Barbara.
This week on Michael's Minute, we are going to talk about rug cleaning and restoration. A fine rug is a family treasure often passed on from generation to generation. Rugs need to be properly taken care of to ensure their survival and protect your investment. At Santa Barbara Design Center, we are the foremost experts in professional cleaning, repairing, and preserving your rugs. Rugs should be hand washed every 3 to 5 years to maintain the structure. When was the last time you washed your rugs? Proper cleaning can extend the longevity of your rug, whereas steam cleaning can damage it. Restorations by Rugs & More include hand stitching, fixing fringes and sides, and reviving worn pile. For the finest restoration and cleaning, bring your rugs into Rugs & More at Santa Barbara Design Center today, 410 Olive Street. Today I want to talk to you about chairs. Chairs come in many different styles and shapes and classical, modern, or transitional look. This particular one is called Sarah, and it is a stationary chair, is a modern look. This particular one is a recliner and is leather and is a very classical look. This one is Barrack and is a swivel glider. Swivel gliders are my favorite chairs and they're addictive. And it is in a transitional look. It is not modern, it is not classical, it is in between, a marriage between them all. And my favorite one is a Santa Barbara chair. We make these out of washable linen, and we make it with blend down inside of it, which is down and angel hair. Most comfortable, and is a swivel. If you want to see any of these chairs in person, please come to Santa Barbara Design Center at 410 Olive. In this edition of Michael's Minutes, let's talk about sofas, be it classical, transitional, or modern. The style you choose should be based on your personal preference. Once you have a style, selecting the right size and shape for your space is critical. We offer love seats, sofas, sectionals, and sectionals with a return. The next step is selecting the right fabric for your lifestyle. You can choose from casual to durable, even washable. Last but not least comes the comfort of your sofa. We carry many materials like high density foam that you can cover in polyester, down, or premium angel hair for maximum comfort and support. I invite you to come to Santa Barbara Design Center at 410 Olive Street and select your dream sofa. Welcome back to Design Santa Barbara. This week we are looking at the rich, vibrant history of tapestries. The term tapestry is also used to describe weft-faced textiles made on jacquard looms. The world-famous Bayeux tapestry depicting the Norman conquest of England and the Battle of Hastings in the 11th century is approximately 230 feet long. The methods used to design tapestries even helped in the development of modern technology. The way color pixels are rendered on computer screens can be directly linked to the methods in which colors are shown on ancient tapestries. Now let's look at another antique tapestry. Last on this segment, but not least, we have this beautiful tapestry from Aubusson, France, and this one has a beautiful history I will tell you in a couple of minutes. They were made back then also for exports, and I think this particular one was made for export to the United States. So I think the gentleman with the musket and the lady, they look very much the new colonials, and they are Americans. The motifs have changed. As you remember in the ones we had from Aubusson and Verdure, there were palaces in the background and they were typical French palaces. This looks like a monumental new world castle that you will see perhaps in the northeast of United States. And then you have that beautiful little hut or a little house that you would see typical back those days. A fascinating history about this is that this particular tapestry has a provenance, and it was hung at 1789 in Boston Concert Hall for the reception of George Washington. And as I mentioned, a lot of these tapestries were used as a backdrop and as a viewing point. So if you can imagine, George Washington was standing where I'm standing today, 1789. Well, that's very fascinating to me. Beautiful piece with a nice provenance, and it is in a fair condition. It has some little stains in the top, but that you expect that from a art piece this age. Fair market value, approximately $30,000 to $35,000. I hope you have enjoyed this week's look into fascinating history of tapestries. If you would like to see these tapestries in person, please come to Santa Barbara Design Center. Today on Design Santa Barbara, we are getting back to my favorite subject, woven arts. Today we have few bags and bag faces. They are a little bit of a mystery what they were and why they made them for, but very simply back then, 100, 200, 500 years ago, they didn't have shops. They can go buy luggage and pack it and move. These are tribal people. They move in the winter time to the lowland because it's warmer and there's pastures. In a high summer, they move up to higher elevation. It's colder and there's grass for the sheep and goats to feed on. So these were woven by this amazingly talented and passionate weavers. They were both-sided. Each one used to go each side of a donkey or a horse, and they were acting exactly as what they are. They are bags. Lately, a lot of them lose their backs because they were rubbed against the animal, they were against the elements, and they call them bag faces when that happens, when they don't have the original backs. Today we have different ones. They come from different parts of the weavers. This is a baluch bag, and it's a double bag, and is in perfect shape. These are from Western Iran. It's an area that encompasses southern Afghanistan, Western Pakistan, and East Iran. These are Baluchis. And this particular one is a double bag from Baluchistan. This beautiful example that has original bag, lost a pair to it, but still here. This is a Qashqai, comes from West Iran, high elevations, most saturated colors. As you can see, they like color. They live in an arid land and they love warm, bright colors. The third one today is a Jaff Kurd. These people live in a wide range of high mountains from East Iran all the way to southwest, and very talented. These colors to get from natural dyes are not easy, and they just do it because they have a passion and they like this. The fourth one is an Afshar, has a still original back. Again, rare to get the original back. They all have the goat hair around them, because snake never crosses a goat hair. Think about it. You live in a desert, you live in an arid area, there is poisonous snakes. So as long as you can encircle yourself with the items that they have goat hair around them, snake never crosses it. That's an interesting thing to know. Prices range very much. So they are again rare nowadays. A lot of people have collected them through the centuries. The Baluchi, which is 19th century, I would say late 19th century, 1890 to 1900s. I value it as like $2,500. The Jaff, which is a little bit bigger, a little bit more unusual in size, but has bright colors, has still in great condition. I value it $3,500. The Afshar, with original back and these beautiful designs and original goat hair surrounding. Again, $2,500. And I would say the best one of these group is this amazing Qashqai, which is very fine weave, is amazing colors. This nowadays retails for $5,000 to $6,000. I hope you enjoyed today's appraisal. Looking forward to see you next week.